Alrighty, here we are at the end of the text-based labs that we're going to do. After this, we get to graphics. But before we get to graphics, we have to learn a little bit more about lists, which are going to help us out later on. This is the kind of assignment that kind of proves that you have mastered everything that we've done so far. It takes some math concepts that are a little bit tricky to figure out and understand, and it shows you how you can use loops and if statements and lists and while statements and put them all together to do some interesting features in code. This is the kind of thing that computer coders end up enjoying because it uses algorithms and makes you think through some things that are kind of strange. But if you can do this, you can do a lot. So let's take a look at what it is we're asking you to do. This lab is different from most of the other labs that we've done because this lab is going to end up working all together at the same time. So don't really view it as four separate assignments. It's really more four parts of a bigger program, but you can split those parts up. There's parts of these that are easy in each part, and there's parts that are hard in each part. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a main function, which means the main thing that we want to do is we want to create a list filled with random numbers. We're going to make that the numbers 1 to 100, and the list is going to show up on the screen 100 numbers in it. Now, I'm going to show you an example with only 10 numbers in it because otherwise the screen will be so filled with numbers you won't understand what's going on. So, but once you get it working with 10, it's easy to go up to 100 and even beyond that if you want to really see some interesting effects. So you're going to make that random numbers. Now you can do that exactly like you did it in Lab 9. So if you know how to make a list filled with random numbers, you can pretty much copy that code from Lab 9. Once you get that list, we're going to create a function that runs an algorithm called an insertion sort algorithm, and we're going to talk about sorting in class and in these tutorials, so you can find out more about that. But it's going to sort the list, and it's going to print the sorted list to the screen. Then we're going to come down and we're going to do the exact same thing. Make a new list. We can't reuse the same one. We want to make a new one. And this time we're going to send it to an algorithm that does a sort called a selection sort. And it's going to sort the algorithm and print it to the screen. And then we're going to do it a third time, create a new list. This time the sort is going to be called a bubble sort, and it's going to sort the list and it's going to print it to the screen. So you can have 3 lists all sorted, like just the numbers are going to go in order. The last thing we're going to do is we have the ability to time how long each of these algorithms takes. So what we can do is we can find out what time it is before the sort function happens, and then find out what time it is directly after the sort function happens, and then we can subtract the end time minus the before time, and it'll tell us how much time has elapsed. Like imagine that 10 seconds go by while it's trying to sort the numbers. Then it would tell you, this maybe the bubble sort takes 10 seconds, but maybe the selection sort only took 9 seconds. And maybe the insertion sort took, 12 seconds. So then it could tell us what's going on. Now, it's going to not take 10 seconds. It's going to take milliseconds, but it's the same idea. So at the end, we can say which algorithm is the best way to sort numbers in our situation. Okay, so what's that output look like? Let's take a look here. So here I generated an unsorted array. Again, I only used 10 numbers, so you could kind of get a handle on what this looks like, because 100 numbers is ridiculous on the screen. So you'll notice it did an insertion sort. I printed what I was doing. And you look at these numbers and look, they're in order. So that sort must have worked, whatever I did. And it took, what this means when you see this to the negative oh 05 is like 5 zeros in front of the 1. So it's really 0.0000169. In other words, we're talking micro or nanoseconds of time to sort 10 numbers because the computer does not take a long time to sort 10 numbers. We do it again. This time it's a different algorithm. And this one took 1.59 to the negative oh 05, which means it was a little bit faster, right? 1.59 as opposed to 1.69. And then I did it again. Here is the unsorted array, the third one. The bubble sort sorts them into the right order. And this one also took 1.69, 10 to the negative 5 seconds. So the selection sort is the fastest algorithm in my case. Now, depending on the numbers that get generated, depending on the exact situation, you might get different results actually. But in my case, the selection sort wins the race of this sorting algorithms. All right, so that's what you're trying to create. Of course, you can come back for specific tips to find out more about how you might do each one. And that's what we'll talk about next.